I've got Jake. Jake, with the next one. There's Jake right there.
Check, check. Mr. President, it's an honor.
Thank you.
My name is Jake Ayers. I'm the mayor for the city of Hogansville, a small city in Troup County, Georgia, just next door.
Is he a good mayor? Yes?
While you were president, you delivered a significant grant that greatly impacted our community. And I think I can speak on behalf of every small town in Georgia. We are very thankful for your support of rural Georgia and rural America. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much.
However, I think one of the most pressing things on a global scale is your support for Israel. So how do you plan to support and protect Israel and the Jewish community now when you become the next president?
Thank you very much. Good question. And it's so interesting, but evangelicals and so many people support Israel so much more. It's not just a Jewish people. It's so many Christians are so supportive of Israel. And, you know, they say, and I would agree with this 100%, nobody's done what I've done for Israel. We, as you know, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. We even built the embassy by moving the embassy. That became somewhat automatic. Golan Heights gave them jurisdiction, and we gave Golan Heights, which was a big thing. We did the Abraham Accords, which was a very, very big thing. They were trying to get it for 72 years or something, and I got it for them. We've done a lot, and the single biggest thing I did was, you want to know, is get out of the Iran nuclear deal. The Iran nuclear deal was a disaster. And unfortunately, Biden and Kamala, nobody knows her as Harris. Do you ever do? I talk about it all the time. You say Harris. Everyone says, who is that? The vice president. Can you believe she's the vice president? She came in last. He picked her. She came in last, and now she's running. You know, think of it just for a second, Mr. Mayor, because I'm going to get right back to Israel, because there was one other thing, and that was the Abraham Accords. That was one of the most incredible things of all. We would have had peace in the Middle East, and we still will. We'll fill that out. We'll get them all in. We have the 4, but we'll fill it out. But if you look at what's happened and what's happening with our country and what's happening, a lack of respect for the two of them, we can't have that any longer. We have to be respected. Think of it. We were energy independent 4 years ago. We had, I saw the new number, $1.84 a gallon gasoline, and now you have 3.5 and 4. And you had 5 for a while, and you had 6 and 7 even for a while. But a lot of things. So we're going to take care of Israel. We work with Israel. They say that in Israel, I could maybe run, if things didn't work out here, you could run for Prime Minister of Israel, and I'd get 97% of the vote. So, and of course I kid, because you know what happens when you do the little sarcasm and the kidding, they go, well, he said he's running for, you know. That's the fake news doing that. And that's a lot of fake news you have back there. That's very impressive. That's very impressive. So we're going to do a lot for Israel, and we're behind them. And the big thing, we want to have peace in the Middle East. We want to have Russia stop with Ukraine. We're going to get that done. That was another thing would have never happened. You wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had Russia attacking Ukraine. You wouldn't have had October 7th, which was Israel. And the horrible, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country was Afghanistan. The way, not that they pulled out, we were ready to pull, the way they pulled out, it was so bad. They moved the military out first. No, you moved the military out last. I think it was one of the most embarrassing. I think that's why actually Putin went into Ukraine. But we're going to take care of Israel, and they know that. Bibi called me yesterday, called me the day before. We have a very good relationship. And I have to say they've done... Fortunately, they didn't listen to Biden, because if they listened to Biden, they'd right now be waiting for a bomb to drop on them. And they did their own work. They did not listen. They couldn't listen because what he was asking. In fact, just the other day, they said to him, are you okay with what they're doing? Well, I don't want them to attack the nuclear, and I don't want them to attack the oil. I said, really? That's sort of the opposite. If you go and take the exact opposite for 40 years of Biden's foreign policy, you would be one of the greatest. Just take the opposite. You'd be one of the greatest in the history of foreign policy. So we're gonna work with them very closely. We're going to work with all nations. We're not going to have World War III. We're closer to World War III right now than we have been ever, maybe, ever. And that will be a war like no other because the power of the weaponry, nuclear weapons, the power it's indescribable, and you don't even want to think about it. And it's mentioned all the time. You know, I never mentioned nuclear. I never we rebuilt our military. We rebuilt the military. We had to give, these people gave a lot of military to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. They have parades to show it. And those are very embarrassing moments for our country. But we're going to take good care of, frankly, we're going to take care of everything. We're going to straighten out the world a little bit. One thing, if I could, somebody that a lot of people respect a lot, Viktor Orban from Hungary. So he's the prime minister, and he made the statement. He said, when Trump comes back as president, everything's going to be perfect. And it was for 4 years. And I know exactly what he was talking
Amen.
about. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.